Hello! Hey, at least the audio faded out instead of cutting out rapidly there. Hi! Welcome to this live stream here, Filmmaker IQ. Oh my god, my phone's going crazy. I have my phone on my... So I'm going to try to see if I can do this chat thing on... If you guys are doing some live chat here. Drop in a message and say hi. It's been a long time since I've been on here. To be honest, I've been having quite a few issues with my life. Just trying to deal with situation with my mother, who's just seems to be getting worse and worse, and to the heat, it's just kind of come to a breaking point with what's going on. So I haven't had much time to do much of anything, really. I just kind of hit a wall, and I'm still kind of there, and I'm just trying to pull myself through this and try to get out there and do a little something. Oh, we've got 15 folks coming in. Hey, how you doing? Charles Hoffman in King of the North. Hello, how you guys doing? Yeah, it's been really, really tough for me, just emotionally, physically, just trying to get through some stuff, and I don't know. It's all I can say is it's just been really, really tough, and I've just kind of got on here to just try to chat for a little bit and hang out with you guys for a while. First time on time. Oh, Mika Silva says here, right here on time. Good for you. Hello, Angel Morales. Let's see if I can just put it up here and it will actually go. Hey, look at that. It worked. Hello. And I have to turn it off over here. But yeah, I mean, I've been kind of trying to make it through it. We had those graduations in June, which nearly like killed me, and I was kind of recovering from those. And I had another big project after that, was for the Chamber of Commerce, and I finished that. And then I had my birthday last week. So I went to Vegas for a bit and spent it in Vegas. And I had, honestly, probably what I felt was one of the more creative experiences I've ever seen. So if you guys have been on like Reddit at all, and an uploader says, nice haircut. Yeah, there was that. I went a little Britney Spears there. Because I'll tell you the truth. So what happened was I was doing this video production for Juneteenth celebration in one of the cities that I work with. And somebody took some photos of me from behind. And I'm like, oh man, am I that bad back there? I have no hair back there at all. And I was feeling like I was living a lie, like a complete lie. Because I was looking in the mirror and I was like, oh, I've got some hair. I'm dealing okay. But then I see pictures of the back of my head. I'm like, holy moly, that's just, I'm lying to myself. I'm being a liar. And I could not be the person that lied to myself anymore. And I decided I was going to do the Captain Picard. So that basically, the nice thing about having this haircut is that it opens me up for a lot of different Halloween costumes I can play. I can do a Captain Picard. I can do a Larry David a little bit. If I let it grow out a little bit, I can be a Larry David. A little bit. I can do that. I could be a Jeff Bezos. I could be a Dr. Evil. I could do all kinds of things with my haircut now. Circus Brains says, I am campaigning to bring legitimacy to body switch movies. This is like Freaky Friday and what was the other one with Steve Martin in it? I forget which one it was. But they need to bring them back. I agree. I think we need to really bring back movies just in general. So here's the thing. Bet it's nice and cool too. Unfortunately, it's not. I thought it would be cool to cut off all your hair and be like, oh, I won't have to sweat anymore. No, I sweat just as much as... That's the other thing. Like, not only am I emotionally just kind of down and just feeling like crap all the time, it's also hot. So, like, in my studio here is not air conditioned. It's in a warehouse, and there's no air conditioning in here. And it's not, I'm not going to die. I was in Las Vegas last week. That was hot. This is manageable, but it's not. No, it's not cool. All right, here we go. Here's some more questions. So let's talk about Vegas real quick before I jump into the questions here. So, Brexton, hold on to your question, and I'll hit you up as soon as I can. You might, if I forget, just go ahead and post. Feel free to post the question again. I'm fine with that. As long as you don't spam the chat, I'm fine. You're reposting. But Charles Hoffman, just while we're at it, the low maintenance is spend a lot less time drying my hair. A lot less time. A whole lot less time. Yeah. And new hat styles, yeah, that's true. And I can try different wigs. If I wanted to wear a wig for a sketch or something like that, I can wear a different wig. So the thing, if you're on Reddit, and you might have seen this going around, there's this thing called Omega Mart in Las Vegas. If you haven't, and you're on YouTube, after you're done watching this, Google Omega Mart. Just search Omega Mart. And it's this amazing art installation. So it's the best way to describe it for somebody that's that knows a little bit about gaming is, think of if the company from Portal, the Portal company, Aperture Science, and Walmart had a baby, and this is Omega Mart, and it's absolutely hysterical. It's insane. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant take on corporatist kind of supermarket 90s. There's a lot of 90s hints to it. 90s, 2000s training videos. I mean, they've got products in there, the weirdest things. They've got something called the Infinity Watermelon, which is basically a watermelon that's got you can look through infinity through it. It's this great. They've got one of my favorite is this cans of what's called gender fluid. If you want some, it's industrial strength and organic. It's an art installation that's created, I believe, by a company called Meow Wolf that started in Santa Fe, and they basically they made this art installation with this kind of fake supermarket with all these extreme, weird, funny, bizarre, artistic, corporatist, food items, and it's so cool. So they did this in Santa Fe, and then they gathered a team together of 300 artists, like legitimately good artists. Like I kind of have a thing with modern art. I'm not a very big fan of, but there are a lot of artists working that are incredibly talented. So they got 300 artists together and put 3 years into building this Omega Mart, which is basically this Walmart meets Aperture Science, and then they developed a backstory where the CEO of the company taps into this well source of power that is this interdimensional gate to another universe. And the front of this art installation is this Omega Mart. Omega Mart. Anyhow, you go to the back, and you can find out more about the history of the story of the created. And it's basically like a virtual video game. You can walk around, you can explore, you can get on a telephone, you can try to use their telephone systems. So this is a spoiler, but it's in their commercials. One of my favorite parts, you go into the factory where they make all these weird foods and all that stuff. That's interdimensional, twisty, and there's this big giant control panel. And then on this control panel, there's this warning sign that says, "Warning, button for emergency cooling." And it's got a big red button, and it's got one of those covers on it, like a safety cover. So you lift the safety cover, and you press the big button that says emergency cooling. And what it does is it turns on this fan that blows air on your face. It's the humor of it all. It's like, emergency cooling. You push it, it's like, it blows air on your face. It's the kind of unexpected humor. It's just something about it. It is so, I don't know how to describe it. It's this abandonment of logic, which I sometimes get frustrated sometimes with my friends who are talking about the news or something like that, where it's just too much logic. And a lot of times some of my friends will be kind of like, they will not want to go into weird and bizarre places because it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. And I feel like that's where I find so much joy. It's where I'm thinking more and more like I want to spend at least part of my career exploring that, because I feel like my work on Filmmaker IQ is a very logical work. It's very logic, science, STEM, objectivity, and I want subjectivity. And I feel like that's so missing in my life, at least with the pandemic going on. I feel like the whole world of objectivity is so limited that subjectivity is so much more interesting to me. And so I've been kind of like delving into these weird astral plane things. And that's the great thing. Like I loved about it was it's not necessarily, they created this whole religion essentially that these interdimensional beings follow. And the thing was, it wasn't like they weren't serious, but it was serious. But they weren't serious. So they said everything is basically the foundation of 7 elements. And those elements are like, heart, charity, blah, 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 blah. And then they break it out. They called it the big giant bean dip of the cosmos. And it's like the further you go in the bean dip, there are fewer layers, but the layers combine into the hand that feeds, the hand that gives, the hand that takes, the hand that, and it's like it built this pie chart on absurdity. And it was just real enough to feel real and grounded and substantial, but it was fanciful enough to be entertaining and different and out there. And I don't know, I was so like emotionally as an artist, if I'm called an artist, I don't know, as doing YouTube videos where I talk about like the color yellow, is that art, or are these videos I make art? I don't know. I guess it's some form of art. But I kind of wanted to get away from that, and I saw something there in this presentation, this art installation that was literally like I'm like a what's it called? What's the word? And my brain is so fried all the time. I can't think of the words I'm trying to think of. It's like a not starving man, but thirsty man, in the desert, dehydrated man. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Getting a drink of water. It just seeing this was so remarkably, cool, because I feel like a lot of times what I do with my video work is sort of just the same old, and I know, I in many ways I feel like a jazz musician when I'm making a video, and that I know how to play the licks. I know the boo-ba-doo-dee, boo-ba-doo-doo. I know how to insert that in places and just play my jazz lick, right? And when I make a video, jazz lick here, this would be a good jazz lick here. I don't really explore new and strange places that are interesting and bizarre. That's just, I guess that's the reality when you run a video business. You don't necessarily, no one's paying me to make astral plane projections of Bizarro Land. Anyhow, that is my story with Meow Wolf and the Weird Omega Mart, which I totally recommend if you're in Vegas. It is well worth it. It's like $50 to admission, and you can spend all the time you want in there, and you can take pictures, unlike other modern art installation. Take pictures of everything, and just explore it. And part of the story too is you're a newly hired employee, so you have to like accomplish certain tasks. I didn't get to accomplish all of them, but it was super fun. So anyhow, let's go back to your comments, because I've been ignoring you because I wanted to talk about Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf. Have you ever listened to Welcome to Night Vale? I have not listened to it. I've heard about it. It is something similar, I don't know if it's... I think Night Vale is more of a... I don't know. I have to check it out. I haven't listened to it yet. But I know something like that. It's very David Lynchian. But and then I was thinking about David Lynch a lot too when I was experiencing this thing, and I was like thinking about how, David Lynch is very much into transcendental meditation, and I feel like almost I should probably look into that myself. Why not? Just, go into that dimension, transcendental. I know you guys are. How come the science guy is talking about transdimensional crap? But let's see. Don't give. Okay, so Zenitro says, "I love you the way to make things interesting. Plus, please don't give up the good topics." There's a lot of. See, the problem I'm also having is I've had this emotional break. I can't get anything done. And I don't want to throw my mom under the bus, but she's taking a lot of my time to take care of her. And now I've got caretakers coming through like every day of the week. But it's just a struggle. Like this morning was like I couldn't get going to my office to do some stuff today because she wouldn't get out of bed. It'd take her like 45 minutes to get out of bed, then 45 minutes to go downstairs and use the toilet. It's like I can't get anything done, and then it just drains my energy. So I know I'm being overly personal. I'm leaving out a detail here or there. That's fine. I'll leave that private. But it's like... it's and then the heat doesn't help, and I don't know. And so I'm going to go to the doctor, I think, next week, and I'm going to try to get a blood test to see if maybe something's chemically going on that's messing me up too. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. Yeah. So Michael says, say my channel gives many tools to people to make something great. I hope it does. But I also wonder too, like if I've gone down this road so far that I miss out on the experience of kind of just, I don't know. Well, I guess, everybody goes through this process, I think, as a creative person in a certain mindset. Like, I think it was a natural point where I would get to the point where I understood the science and the camera systems well enough that I could be able to predict what I was going to do with them. So you lose that magic of not knowing what you're going to get. There's that magic of discovery, but then if you already know what you're going to get, there's no magic to it. So I'll give you an example. When I got really pissed off at this one dude on Facebook, because he was just frankly, he was a little bit of a dick, so I just blocked him anyway. I made this post on one of these sites, and Petapixel actually picked it up. Was they took a old-fashioned analog film camera, and he stuck a little Raspberry Pi camera in it. He 3D printed a little thing that would go inside the housing, and it make it sound like, oh my God, we took this useless analog camera and made it good with this little pixel Raspberry Pi camera, little tiny camera, like not even an eighth of a minute, maybe a 3mm lens on there, right? A 3mm sensor, and I thought, this is the stupidest idea. And I got pushback on Facebook with some people that I thought would have not understood why it would be stupid to put a 3mm sensor on a camera which is designed for a 35mm plane of film. The crop factor was 10. So you put and the guy was demonstrating this on the videos. Yeah, I can't believe it worked. This is a great way to reuse those old cameras. I thought, no, it's not. It's a stupid way to reuse those. First of all, film is hot. Right now, lots of people are shooting film. I mean, what's the guy that Smarter Every Day did a great little video on visiting a film lab. It was really cool. I enjoyed watching that. So film is getting hot. So the analog camera is actually still has life in it. And then you put a sensor that gives you a 10 times crop factor. You put so your 35mm is a 350mm lens. It's completely useless. You can only use it to shoot it out the window to see your neighbor three counties down. It's I said it was a stupid idea. People are well, it's not stupid. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe people think that your stuff that you 3D print is stupid. I'm okay, don't be attacking what I 3D print, because I just print models and by the way, there's a BioShock character back there that's new. But come on. Anyhow, so maybe because I understand the world, I'm also going through a major crisis of trying to clean up my house and my office, which is not going well. If you look around, my office is not going well. But I'm also getting near that 4-0 age where I'm starting to kind of reevaluate things, and my house is full of stupid ideas that I shouldn't have never done. So I'm not immune to not being stupid ideas, but I need to call out stupid idea. That was a stupid idea, because basically you're making a camera that has no practical purpose, and it's just gonna take it apart in about a few weeks. After you've made 100,000 views on YouTube, you're just gonna take it apart, because otherwise it's gonna gather. I still have that Lego pieces from the Stargate sequence of 2001. It's in a box right over there. Is it work? No. Am I ever going to use it again? No. It's served its purpose. I could probably toss that away, or I could repurpose the Legos for something else. But yeah, I'm kind of against this whole idea of making stuff that you think is going to last forever, or making stupid stuff and holding on to it, because I got a whole studio full of that stuff. Weren't you making Roger Rabbit or the lady in it, Jessica Rabbit? She's over there. She's on that side over there. Let's see. I won't begrudge a guy wanting to do a project, but I agree that this one seems kind of pointless. That's the thing. People are well, you shouldn't be. So it's a proof of concept. Yeah, but do you make a YouTube video about a proof of concept? You go out there, you post it on a website and call it proof of concept? Is Petapixel saying, "Oh, look at this great way of reusing this old camera"? I was no. Now, look, and here's the thing. And I told people this: if you did a digital back for an analog camera that was a 35mm size sensor, or even even a somewhat smaller, like, it would actually make it a usable camera. Sure, actually I've kind of been eyeballing how to get a digital back for a large format camera for a 4x5 because I'm kind of intrigued by the whole 4x5 format. So yeah, sure, I understand the draw for that, but to put a webcam in an analog camera, I mean, that's what got me, and I think people don't realize, like, well, that's what was pissing me off, is like you're putting a webcam sensor in an analog camera and saying, "That's right, folks, we did it. We did it." Yeah, this other guy just he ended up saying, like, "Oh, you're just being bitter." I'm like, okay, all right, fine. This, some people on Facebook, they only exist to give you grief when you say something, and those people I can just block. Why not? Just block them. Get rid of them all. Here we go. Here's a good comment. Let's see. The guys I've seen on doing camera mods numerous times, the guys doing this mostly do it for fun, but then some outlets like Hackaday jump on it, and people pretend it's the best thing ever. Exactly. Hackaday. How did you know? You probably read the same article, didn't you? It's Hackaday. I had to get rid of Hackaday from my Facebook feed because it was literally nonstop things. I'm like, that's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. That's garbage. So I'm also helping my friend set up this 3D printing thing for a school. And I'm going through Thingiverse's educational thing, and I'm also going through it and like, that's a good idea, but it's garbage. That's a good idea, but it's garbage. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good thing we could do. That's garbage. That's garbage. Maybe I'm becoming a cynical in my old age. In my hairless old age, I'm becoming just a crank. Like, one of the things I saw on the Thingiverse thing was this idea of these 3D printing these airplanes. Like, do you guys remember White Wings? When I was a kid, like, that was one of my favorite things to do. Was that I had a park behind my house that sloped down, and the wind would kind of come down over the park. So I would fly these White Wings, and I was getting really good at them. So I can get them up in the air, like maybe like 150 feet, and then or 50 meters for you folks, and then I would tune it so it would basically shoot straight up, and then it would like do spirals coming down, and the wind would sometimes catch it and then send it back up. I mean, I can get up there for like 2 minutes or something like that. It was fun. Those are my best memories as a kid, was flying White Wings, because I would just it was just the troubleshooting. You would shoot it up in the air, and then you would figure out, oh, okay, well, I want to adjust the elevator a little bit just so I get a little more nose up. And then you would just keep over and over, and you got a little exercise. So, which for me, good thing to do. So I saw this thing on Thingiverse. I was like, oh, this is cool. They're 3D printing White Wings. But then I saw the video of him shooting them off, and it was garbage. It was just garbage. It was like they shot them. They looked like darts. They didn't fly well. First of all, like, he spent all his time on the fuselage. But the winglets were held together by these incredibly aerodynamic little like square bars. Like, why'd you put a square bar on the wing? It's like literally killing any kind of air control. And then they didn't have any rear stabilizers. So it's like, dude, what the hell? Complete garbage. Garbage idea. I mean, garbage. Well, you know what they say: those who can't do, and those who can't teach. Oh man, burn. But yeah, that was garbage. Then I saw this one thing. I'm sorry about going off. You guys are my free therapy. I saw this one thing, which was a demonstration of erosion, and this guy printed a canyon, and they printed what's like a water soluble part that goes in the canyon, and then you would pour the water, and the water soluble part would go away, like it would erode from the canyon. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. Then I watched the video. Garbage. Stupid garbage. Like, literally, the water would pour through, and the thing would shrivel up, but then it would, like, curl inward. And it was like, dude, that's not erosion. That's just dissolving stuff. That's not erosion. That's just stupid. Like, I wouldn't trust kids around some of these things. So, like, Shitspit says, with the cat hat. It sounds like I'm in aviation too. So that's another thing I do have my 107A license for flying drones. I need to go take the test again because it's been 2 years. I've been flying the Mavic 2 for about 2 years now. Love it. It's an amazing camera. Like, literally, no brainer. I mean, it's such a great camera for flying. And I've recently tried to get into the Cinewhoop world and doing the DJI. I first tried to do the DJI FPV camera. I bought it and I opened it up and I took one look at it. I was like, no, I'm not going to fly this, because I had an intention of being able to fly it indoors and create all kinds of cool shots, like that bowling alley thing that was in the news for a while ago. I wanted to do that. And the FPV drone, yeah, no, you don't want to fly this near people. No way. So I returned it and got a Cinewhoop. And unfortunately, I'm trying to learn how to fly. I'm trying to, it's a learning curve. It's not a DJI, which is just basically pop in the battery. Here you go, off you go, and it's perfect. No, flying your own stuff is tricky. And unfortunately, I let one of my straps fall into the wheel well, the rotor well, and it got caught, and the rotor stopped spinning, and it burned up. And so literally, like, one motor is completely fried to a crisp. It's literally black. And I've got to replace it, but then in the process of taking it apart, I accidentally ripped a cable that was for this USB thing, so I wouldn't be able to control it. I'm waiting on that from China, of all places, because all this stuff is made in China, so I'm waiting on that now. So yeah, I am definitely an aviator. I love flying. Yeah. Oh, Timo has the Kodak Ektar and Portra films are such amazing capture mediums. Like, the dynamic range of colors is still the very top 10, even compared to the best digital cameras. I've just shot. I did do some Portra stuff. Portra's great. I do like Portra because it's the only ones I've messed with. I've done the HP5, which is a nice black and white film. It can give you an edge. Like, if you want something edgy and contrasty, FP5 is Ilford. The Ilford HP5 is a pretty. You can push it pretty hard. And then I just shot my first positive film with this girl. I did some videos for her. She was a piano teacher, and I've recorded several of her classical piano players, and I think she's absolutely gorgeous, and she's super cute. So I said, let's do a photo shoot, and I bought some. It's the Ektar, I believe, yeah, Kodak Ektar, and then I bought it from B&H. And I bought it with the development, like, send it back to be developed. I haven't heard back from them, so I'm hoping they got it and they're going to send it back, or otherwise they don't. But anyhow, I shot 4x5, I shot Ektar, and I shot digital with the Canon 5DS, which is like a 80 megapixel camera. It's a 50 megapixels, a huge camera, right? Huge pixels count, still full frame. And I gotta say, the digital looks really good. I gotta say it, digital looks really, really, really good. Like, digital is there. I'm curious to see what the Ektar. Now, the problem, I think, honestly, when I compare 35 millimeter film to digital side by side, I like both, but digital to me, I still feel there's a use case for digital that's nicer than film. Like, if you do a job where you're shooting something, people kind of expect the digital experience, which you shoot, and I can show you what you look like. Here, take a look at that. Whereas with film, they don't get it yet. There's still some mystery, and I feel uncomfortable about that still. For use in certain projects, I still film. I think film is cool and fun, but if you just compare them side by side, I don't know. I don't know if a film. I mean, film has its charms. I don't know if film can hold up to a solid digital image. That's just my opinion. But I do enjoy film, and I'm not going to knock anybody for shooting film, because I think it's fun to do. It really is. And I like shooting the 4x5 because it's a whole process, right? It's a whole, get the camera, set it up, like, focus it, and then you got to insert the film slate, pull out the thing, 3, 2, 1, click, put it back. I enjoy that whole, like, mechanical process. But I wasn't really particularly pleased with the 4x5 that I shot, and I kind of screwed up the processing. I put too much agitation. I shouldn't have kept rolling it. I should have just rolled it once, stop, and let it, anyhow. Or do the inversion technique. Anyhow, lots we can go down there. Yeah, I will be excited to see the positives. When cleaning my house, I found some positives. I think some Kodachrome that my dad shot way back when. Like in the 70s and 80s, when my dad wasn't a photographer or anything. We shot some slide film, and I was looking at it of Taiwan, and I was like, hey, there's a woman. That woman doesn't look like my mom. Okay, I'm not going to ask any more questions. I put the slide away. But yeah, no, I love the fact that you can get the positives back and you can look at them and just look at the tiny details there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the positives. But yeah, so I did shoot digital, and I absolutely love the digital photos. I sent some to her. I'm still waiting to get the positives so I can show her everything. But the digital stuff came out really gorgeous. So I hope when the positive the Ektar comes back good too. So. Is there a YouTube channel that surprises you with the quality? There is a camping channel I like to watch. It looks amazing sometimes. There's a few. I mean, for a while there, I was really jealous of Captain Disillusion because that guy just like pumps out like stuff that is just a million miles. I mean, PBS wishes he could be as good as Captain Disillusion. I mean, Captain Disillusion is just a knock out of the park, man. So that's the one that I really like. I haven't seen him in a while, though. I haven't watched his stuff in a while. I haven't watched any filmmaking stuff in a while. It's just I haven't been in that filmmaking mood, although I've got ideas I want to do. I want, like this whole that Meow Wolf kind of reinvigorated one idea that I had for a movie a long time ago, a short film, that I never could think of an ending, but now I think of an ending for it. But anyhow. Film is nice, but people... There you go. Film is nice, but people always overblow the magic look of it. It's an image. It has a grain. And it highlights roll of nicely. Move along. I kind of agree with that. And the nice thing about film, though, is it's sort of like a Christmas present. You don't know what you're going to get until you get a chance to look at it. That's what's really exciting to me about films. Like you get the film back, or you develop... I can't wait when I've developed my own film, and I've only developed black and white. I have the chemicals for color, but I haven't made the final... I'm almost worried, like, I got to get the temperature right. But, I can't wait to just open it up and just see, look what I got. Look what I got. I love that discovery. So that to me is kind of fun. But yeah, when you get them on the computer and then you show them on Facebook, it's like, it's the same. It looks a little worse than the stuff you show on your phone. So I don't know. Hey, Bad Karma, welcome. You got yourself a 2001 PT Cruiser for $2,800. Holy cow. Jeez, well, you gotta steal to get any car for $2,800. Well, it is a 20-year-old car, but still, it's not bad for $2,800. Good for you. Oh, there you go, Sean Williams. Yeah, Ektachrome. That's right. You're right. Ektachrome. Ektar is. Yeah, I don't know my films that well, so. Okay, here's a good question. Today, most photographers and videographers prefer to post rather than use optical filters. What do you think about? I think I agree. I tend to think that doing stuff in post is a lot less. It's a lot less messy, and it's not that you shouldn't be doing as much as you can in camera optically. Obviously, ND filters are like absolute must optically, so you need to have those. But like, do you really want to throw a gradient filter on there and color everything above a certain thing blue? I don't think that's a good idea. Not anymore. It isn't. So, and then to do it right, there it's a lot of work, whereas you can do it in post and probably get better results a lot of times. So it might be better off if you just do a lot of stuff in post. It really is. So I have an idea that I want to talk to you guys about, because you guys are all fans of this channel and all that stuff. I want to do, I would really like to do a movie night and bring back like a movie club kind of a thing. And I want to do this locally, but I might think about doing this through the channel as well. And that is, I want to go through like the AFI Top 100. And it would start there. It wouldn't necessarily end there. And maybe pick some movies that I don't think are as well known. Like, I don't think I want to... what I want to do is, I was thinking about four-walling, which is when you rent a movie theater. Four-walling a theater, obtaining the rights to these movies, and then showing them. And then, charging admission. And maybe what I would do differently than just any movie club is I would actually take the time, do like a 15-minute lecture at the beginning, maybe 10-minute lecture. 10-minute lecture at the very beginning of the movie, telling you why I picked this movie and what's important about it, what's interesting about it, and what you can look out for when you watch the movie. And to me, like that would be a great way to experience some of these movies that are not as well known. Like, I don't want to do Godfather. I don't want to do whatever the Godfather. I don't want to do Citizen Kane because everyone's done it, right? I want to do some of the more the lesser known of the AFI Top 100, and we throw in some foreign films. Some foreign films I want to just, because I've never seen the Apu trilogy. I want to experience the Apu trilogy that way in a movie theater with people, with like a little lecture at the beginning saying this is what the Apu trilogy is. This is the context of the history of when this movie was made and why it's important in the pantheon of cinema. Like another one I want to do was like Bicycle Thieves. Have you guys ever seen Bicycle Thieves? It was a very important Italian neo-realist film, and it's a great film. It's entertaining. It's not. That's the thing. I don't want movies that are like a drag to get through. I don't want Kino Files movies. Like, oh, you decide to show Bicycle Thieves. Well, that's like the least version of. I want to do more like, in a way, what Tarantino does with The New Beverly. Just curated films that he does it on obviously a much larger scale. But I want to do like a monthly thing. But also I definitely want to include like a lecture at the beginning. It's like some sort of lectures. And so what I was thinking maybe I could do with that with the channel was maybe record the lectures here. And I could put them on YouTube and then say, okay, this once movie is Bicycle Thieves. Here's a 10-minute spiel on why Bicycle Thieves is interesting. Now, go ahead and go find Bicycle Thieves. Maybe it's on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, and then you would go and watch it. And then, obviously people wouldn't have to watch it, but to me it's like the best part of TCM, Turner Classic Movies, was always the beginning of Robert Osborne, like his little 2-minute talk about the movie. But I want to expand and do a little deeper, So that's an idea. That's an idea. I was thinking about doing that because I did this Chamber of Commerce event where they do like the nonprofits, the best businesses that give back to the community. And I was thinking, well, how can I give back to the community? And I thought maybe doing it this way. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about films and I'm passionate about history, about movie making and art and all that. If I could somehow, do this in my community, and maybe I could do this with YouTube as well. So that's an idea. That's one of them. The French film with the balloon. Yeah, why not? Like the red balloon. I've never seen it, honestly. So maybe, because then now we get all those Woody Allen jokes. I can make the Fellini jokes, right? Mr. Mizzle says it's a good idea. So please do. I always want to see older quality films with a big screen and knowledgeable community. Yeah, I think I think that'd be fun. Let's take a look. Here, this is for fun here. Let's figure out. Let's see what the AFI Top 100 is, right? Let's see here. I know this is exciting. We're gonna look up the AFI Top 100. Now I know AFI Top 100 is American movies, so don't get me. I am an American and I like American movies. I'm sorry about that. So let's see. Citizen Kane, Godfather, wouldn't show those. Casablanca, I might show that, but it would take a while because I think it's already been seen. Raging Bull, that's a little too late. Singing in the Rain, nah. Gone with the Wind, that's too long. Lawrence Arabia might be fun to show just because, but you need to see a big print, like a 70 millimeter. So I don't know. Schindler's List, Vertigo, Wizard of Oz, City Lights. So City Lights is one I would show because it's 1931, Charlie Chaplin. Not many people have seen City Lights, I imagine. That might be worth it. The Searchers, yeah, but The Searchers might be a little bit un-PC for today. Star Wars, not going to show that. Psycho, on the fence on Psycho. 2001, Sunset Boulevard, good example. I probably would show that one. That would be one that I would think about. The Graduate, a little too late. The General, that would be what's his face? Keaton. Buster Keaton. Yeah, General. I've always wanted to show The General and actually do it with a live band. Like actually compose the music or arrange the music so I can have a live band playing for some of these silent films. On the Waterfront, that might be a possibility. It's a Wonderful Life, that's been seen. Chinatown, a little too. Some Like It Hot. It was one of my favorite movies. I just would put it on there just for the list of it. Grapes of Wrath. I'm kind of torn on that because it feels more dreary than I want it to be. E.T., To Kill a Mockingbird, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington wouldn't show. High Noon. High Noon might be a possibility because I don't know if that's been seen as much. All About Eve, Double Indemnity, those are good ones. Apocalypse Now, I feel like it's been done a lot. Maltese Falcon, probably another good example. Godfather Part 2, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Cuckoo's Nest a little too late. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Annie Hall, Bridge Over the River Kwai, Best Years of Our Lives, Treasure of Sierra Madre. That was one actually I had on my list that I would want to show. Dr. Strangelove, which just happens to be my favorite movie, but I may not show that because it's just too obvious. King Kong from 33, maybe. Bonnie and Clyde, Midnight Cowboy, Philadelphia Shane. It Happened One Night. I don't know that one. A Streetcar Named Desire, I might be considered. Rear Window, Intolerance. Intolerance would be an interesting one to show. Although that's a little draggy. It's a little long. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, too modern. West Side Story, a little too modern. Taxi Driver, a little too modern. Deer Hunter, MASH. North by Northwest, Jaws, Rocky, The Gold Rush, probably a good one. Charlie Chaplin again. Nashville, Duck Soup. Duck Soup would be a fun one, just to see what people's reaction to the Marx Brothers are nowadays. Sullivan's Travels is definitely one on my list. Sullivan's Travels is actually one of my... Preston Sturges is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. And Sullivan's Travels, I think, is not very well known. American Graffiti, never saw that one. Cabaret, I like it, but not for this. Network, I would show Network. I would definitely show Network because it's almost prophetic, but it might be too late for The African Queen. The African Queen's a little too. It's a little weird. The African Queen. It's a little weird in that the green screen technology at the time, or the rear projection, pretty lame. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Unforgiven, Tootsie, Clockwork Orange, Saving Private Ryan, Shawshank Redemption, Butch Cassidy, Silence of the Lambs, Heat of the Night, Forrest Gump, All the President's Men, Modern Times, I'd probably put Modern Times on there. Wild Bunch, The Apartment, I'd probably put on there. That's fun. Spartacus, Sunrise, The Song of Two Humans. Sunrise, I've never seen Sunrise. I'd love to see that, actually, in the screen. That would be fun. Titanic, Easy Rider, Night of the Opera. I've never heard of Night of the Opera. Platoon, never saw Platoon either. 12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men's an interesting one. I think I would put that on the list because it is actually started as a TV show. There's a TV pilot, or a TV special. Bringing Up Baby, yes, that one. Sixth Sense, Swing Time for 36, I never heard of that one. Sophie's Choice, never saw that. Goodfellas, French Connection, Pulp Fiction, Last Picture Show. I never saw the Last Picture Show. Do the Right Thing, it's a little too late. Blade Runner, Yankee Doodle Dandy, maybe Yankee Doodle Dandy. And Toy Story and Ben-Hur rounds out the top 100. So I've got like 15 or so in there that I would immediately put in my list of movies to show at this thing. Again, my list is different than yours, so don't get angry at me. It's amazing actually how many of those movies I've seen. I think I've seen about 70% of those. So go back to your comments here. I've been going while I was reading through all this stuff. It's The Bicycle Thief. Oh, is that what it is? Is it a bad French interpretation? His mustache is painted. You know what's funny? All right, I'm gonna get canceled here. Watching, I am technically a millennial. I am the oldest of the millennials. I'm the old millennial. I grew up. I was the class of 2000. I am a millennial. But watching Some Like It Hot with zillennials or whatever happens after millennials, right? Because watching movies with younger people is sometimes very, very heartbreaking. Like Some Like It Hot, I don't think they understood, or at least they can't get there's no humor in the society. Because it's too Me Too'd. Look, when Some Like It Hot, when they were sexually harassing Tony Curtis in the train station, it was done for laughs, but at the time, 1960, when it was made, it was considered bad behavior. But, like, people may not understand that, no, it was bad behavior then. Like, we're making fun of how awful these people are. And you're allowed to have a little humor about it. But like the humor gets lost in some. So I was at a game night with my friends, and this guy's girlfriend had never seen Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's like, oh, and my friend who's about my age, but his girlfriend's like 10 years younger. Good for him. She said, like, well, I'll watch the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay, we've got it right here. So they watch it. So we're trying to play this game, this board game, and I couldn't really pay attention because they got Raiders of the Lost Ark going. And I just, I was like, okay, we got to pause because, the dude's skull's going to melt here. I got to watch this, right? And I asked her, like, okay, so what'd you think of it? Yeah, I don't know. It's really violent. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I asked her, like, okay, well, you like classic movies. Well, what do you think of Casablanca? I think Casablanca is a great movie. If you're into like old studio movies, Casablanca is a great way to enter because it's such a great movie. Number 3 on the list, right? She's like, I don't really like black and white movies. I'm like, oh dear Lord. I think we talked about this last time. You get me started on this stuff again. I keep talking about Some Like It Hot. Now, okay, so I think part of what I do, what I learned, and that's why I think the lecture parts are so important of doing this, is because if you can learn about a movie and you can learn a little bit about just the movie and what it meant, and you hear other people talk about it, it primes you. It is basically marketing, right? If you hear, this movie really moved me because this scene to me meant something, then when you watch the movie and you kind of like, I can see what they're going with it. You might have a different opinion, or it might change your opinion. And I think with Some Like It Hot, I was introduced to Some Like It Hot through one of these like compendium documentaries where they go through the history of Hollywood. Like, oh, here's a great movie, and look, what's his name that wrote it? The German dude, Billy Wilder. Billy Wilder has a great way of words. He's a great sense of humor. And Marilyn Monroe is awesome. She's got a great comic timing, and Jack Lemmon obviously is a great comic timing. But they focus a lot on the very last scene, and I'm going to spoil it because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect anything, right? The very last scene's a joke, but it showed kind of the feeling of the time. And basically what it was the rich millionaire. I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it. Sorry about that, but you're just going to live with it. Rich millionaire is like driving off. They're trying to escape the mobsters, and they're driving off on the boat. And he's like, I'm going to marry you to Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon's in drag. He's like, we're going to get married. Mom will be so happy. And he's like, Jack, it's not going to work. I'm a vegetarian. He's like, that's okay. I can adjust. And she's like, no, it's just not going to work. I can't have kids. And he's like, that's okay. We'll adopt a few. And then he's like, all right, fine. He whips off his wig. It's because I'm a man. He's like, nobody's perfect. And then the joke was, and maybe if we look at it from today's light, if you look at it like from the transsexual, transgender lens, maybe it has a different meaning, But this millionaire is so damn desperate. He's like, I don't care. You're a man. We get along. Let's get married. This is 1960. I don't know. Humanity is not as different. Like I think so much of modern day politics, we think that those guys in the past were so ignorant and stupid. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they're all the same. Maybe we're all kind of just slightly different versions of ourselves. I think maybe if I introduce myself to the originalist. If I went back in time to talk to the, John Adams, may not particularly like me because I don't have regular white people's skin and all that. Maybe there might be some friction there, but I don't think it wouldn't be like so terrible. But maybe if I went all the way back to like ancient Greeks, maybe the ancient Romans were like, oh, what the hell's with that guy? He's got slanted eyes. But yeah, anyhow, I don't know where I'm going with that. That's my theory. It's my look on the world. That we're not really that different. We don't change that fast. Anyhow, I think the general issue with old movie scenes, the black and white thing, is the lack of abstraction. Maybe. I think... So when you're a photographer, sometimes what you do... I hate this when I see photographers do this, is when they post a bunch of pictures on Facebook, and they go, color image, black and white image. Pick which one are you like. I hate that. You either shoot black and white or you shoot color, or you either present color or you present black and white. Not all black and white images work in color. Not all color images work in black and white. It's funny because I did this, like I said, to do that photo shoot with that piano player. A lot of times when I convert to black and white just to see what it looked like, it lost something. It felt less. But there were a few select images where I went to black and white and I thought, damn, that feels more. I feel like it's taking away a detail that makes me more excited about this photo. So that's the thing with black and white. People think that black and white is just turning the saturation down on your camera or on your TV screen. It's not. Now, black and white is when it's shot well, and sure enough, those guys in the studio area, James Wong Howe, is that his name? The Asian cinematographer that was one of the most dominant cinematographers in the studio era, an Asian dude, gorgeous photography, and it was black and white. And if you made it color, it just wouldn't look as good. I don't think Casablanca would look as good if it was in black as in color. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. And I don't know. Maybe it takes some. It's like saying I don't like black and white movies. It's kind of like saying I don't like 24 frames a second. And it's you gotta. Or I don't like Pinot Grigio. I just don't like it. Well, you cannot like Pinot Grigio. That's fine. I don't even know if I like a Pinot Grigio. Night at the Opera is Marx Brothers. Yes, it is. I think it is. Yeah, well, I gotta check it out. I'm not a big fan of the Marx Brothers, but I appreciate the Marx Brothers a lot. But I should check it out. I want to go back and watch the damn war. I was trying to watch the Tomorrow War. I started it for my mom, then I had to go out and do something. And I was kind of getting into it. And then I watched a little bit last night, and I was kind of getting into it, but I was late, and I fell asleep. So I'll have to finish that. I don't know. I want to. Yeah, don't underestimate the man from the past, says Circus Brains. I like the visual between the wise statement and the keep it. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying. Oh, there you go. My mom is going to be a juror. I plan to show her 12 Angry Men. Although, why does it have to be men? Aren't we assuming their gender? Maybe there's a few of them that aren't men. No, they're all men. 12 Angry Men is a fascinating movie because it started off as a TV show. It was a TV movie. It was going to be a TV movie. And back in those days, I guess now nothing's different. But there are a lot of people that are very pushing a very progressive, a very kind of liberal ideology in show business. Oh, what's different, right? No, in the very early days of the 50s, they were trying to push issue stories like 12 Angry Men. They wanted to, how many shows back then they had Gunsmoke. They would bring in, people joke about the 80s, on this very special episode of Full House, I remember, yeah, this is going crazy. If you guys remember the TV show Small World, I used to have a crush on the girl. Small World is about a family whose dad invents a robot girl. She's wearing a maid outfit the entire time, and she's a 12-year-old girl, and there's a little boy in there, and so there's this, but she's I am a robot, I am Vicky, I will do as you please, I am a robot, that kind of robot thing. And I remember on a very special episode of Small Wonder, Jamie, who was this boy, decides that he's going to hold his pee for a very long time. He's going to pretend to be a robot and not pee the entire day. And then, after a long time holding his pee, he can no longer pee. And he has... Oh, my God. These are the weird things. Now, I'm not sure that was actually... Maybe my brain is conflating things together, because I lived in Taiwan as a kid. And I remember there's a PSA or something, don't hold your pee. You have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Don't hold it, because you might end up at the point where you can't pee anymore. So I don't know if that was anyhow. Going back to 12 Angry Men, yeah, it was one of these original issue stories that came to movie. And the way it's shot too is it's shot with very wide angles at the very beginning, and it slowly goes to the more and more narrow view angles to make the room feel more claustrophobic as you go further into the movie. So that's some detail that you could pick up if you want to watch it. Paul Mooney movies. There you go. I haven't seen any Charlie Chan movies in private. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, I saw the black and white, but I saw the color one first. I don't think I've seen the color one. Yeah. That point about color and black and white is so accurate in my experience. When I shoot black and white film, it's almost a different part of my brain turns on. Yeah, absolutely. Black and white film is fun to shoot sometimes. Although sometimes it can also feel oppressive. I remember I went to Idlewild for a couple days, and I just went around shooting black and white around Christmas time. And black and white makes the forest look dreary and dull and just sad. Everything I shot was just oh, this is awful. This is awful. Because black and white, because the green doesn't really, the green of the dark, alpine-y forest doesn't really resonate in black and white film that well. So everything kind of looks gray and just, ugh, But yeah, so maybe black and white is not great for film for nature unless you like something like The Lighthouse, which you want that oppressive feel to it. Black and white's perfect. Could you imagine what The Lighthouse looked like in color? It would be it would be way worse. I wasn't a great fan of The White House, but I appreciate the cinematography, which is really stunning. Liar Liar said something about not holding it in. Liar Liar, there's a movie we could put on the list. Now, in this scene, did Jim Carrey, he actually veered off the script here. This is actually his improv prowess. I don't know. Hey, Gyro, how you doing? What did I just walk into? We're talking about black and white and oppressive films. Films that will basically ruin your soul. All right, let's go back to some of these old classics. Have I seen Living in Oblivion? No, I have not. Just watched a few days ago. Liked it. They did black and white dream sequence. Cool. All right, let's see here. Gilbert likes me at 25 FPS. Gotta love that 25. Pedro says, after I watched 12 Angry Men, it's amazing how the talk among people goes to say there should be some women and black people. There are two dumb fan theories like the devil made everyone changed the votes. Yeah, I don't know. I think wasn't at the time too that only men were allowed to serve on juries anyway, so it wasn't like there were women allowed. But I mean, it would be interesting. So one of the ideas I had for a video, like a follow up to my blocking video, was to take I've always wanted to do this. I wanted to take Glenn Ross. If you guys seen that movie, and originally a screenplay, obviously by David Mamet, and I wanted to gender switch it. I wanted to just try, what would this dialogue feel like coming out of a woman? Or give the opportunity of a female actor, what would a woman do with this dialogue? Because it's very salesman-y, blustery. Yeah, I walked in there, I was going to fucking get them all the fucking, I'm going to fuck. It's like every other word's an F-bomb, because it's Mamet. Why not? Is it Mamet? I'm pretty sure it's Mamet. But, yeah, everything's, I fucking leads. So I wanted to see what a woman would do with it. Just to gender swap it. I was going to do the Ghostbusters thing. Just make it a woman. But, yeah, I would be curious to see, like that's the thing that people don't ever listen to pop culture and what they talk about filmmaking. They have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Like, why can't you just I want to see what actors do with a role or a character, like you can have straight actors play gay. You can have gay actors play straight. You can have men play what were traditionally women's roles. Maybe women play traditionally male roles. Try different things. Like you can have a white person playing a Japanese. Now, obviously, you can't have white people playing black people because that's super sensitive. So don't do that. Hopefully, I don't get canceled for saying don't do that. But I want to be able to play and try different personalities, different identities, and just try different things. That's the whole point of theater. That's the whole point of art. That's the whole point of all this. So I was talking to my friend. So one of the shows that my mom understands and watches is Naked and Afraid. So she likes the Naked and Afraid show, and I like it too. It's a pretty good show. But I've discovered too that watching TV, even these horrible reality shows, is basically like training your brain, your life. It's movies and horrible trash reality television, and I think Naked and Afraid isn't horrible, but it's a way to introduce yourself to the world without getting in any danger. So and there's this one episode of Naked and Afraid where they had this one girl who was like a butch lesbian, very charismatic, very charming, very funny at the beginning, and paired him up with this Asian guy who's a little bit more like a little lower demeanor. He's like, I don't know everything, but I'll learn. And she starts berating him. And then at the middle of the show, she gets like total attack mode and starts like blaming and just yelling at him. Wouldn't share anything with him. Like horrible to this guy. And a lot of people. I went online like trying to figure out whether her name was Sam. Whether everyone else thought the way I did, and like people were like going to town on her. But I learned about this thing called borderline personality disorder. And people are saying, oh, she has borderline personality. So I'm like, what is borderline personality disorder? So I'm learning all about borderline personality disorders by watching a reality show. So anyhow, art is, theater is how you learn to try on different things, look at different things, look at the world differently, experience different experiences. Like, I'll never go to Jurassic Park, but now because of Theo Spielberg, I've been to Jurassic Park, and I know I don't want to go there, but I've been there. It's thanks to the movies, and that's so, if you can't play a gay man because you're not gay, how will we ever know? How will we ever get respect and tolerance for each other? That's just stupid. So don't ever listen to the media. And if you learn anything from this podcast, I watch Louis Rossman once in a while. He's like, I hope you learned something today. If you learn something from this, is don't trust the media. Period. Nothing they say. I don't care who you listen to. Don't trust any of them. They're all whores, and they all want to take your money. And like me, don't trust me, because all I want to do is just have you subscribe and leave a thumbs up and super chat. Why not? I'm just a media whore. I'm just a total whore. That's what I am. We're all whores. I wish someone would pay me for sex. Never mind. That's going a different direction. Sorry about that. Yeah, Schlitz, I don't know what you guys are conversation about. I'm just dropping in. It's the 90s indie movie about making an indie movie. LOL. Steve Buscemi, Catherine Keener. Oh, which one's that one? Steve Buscemi and Catherine Keener. I'm trying to remember what that movie would be. I don't know that one. Have you guys seen the movie? There's my favorite one from the 90s. I haven't seen it in a long time. I should probably find it. Bullworth. Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy, Roller Girl. What's her name? Heather Graham. I forget. The dude that was always the Mexican dude that was always in movies. He was in that movie. He was in Boogie Nights, Oscar something or other. I forget his name. Yeah, he was always in every single indie movie back in the 90s. Bullworth is worth it. There's also a movie with the guy. What's his name? Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Matthew Broderick it was about a movie about this FBI sting agent. I guess it was based on a real true story, a CIA story. I don't know, FBI or something like that. And they were trying to hook the mob. So they basically, FBI created this fake movie production. And they hired this Matthew Broderick who didn't know it was a FBI sting. He was just like brought in as a director. We want you to direct this movie. We got big money. They're trying to figure out some corruption deal or something like that. And they brought him in. They tried to make this movie, right? And they ran out of the hotel. That'd be their offices and all that. They go through the entire process. And then Matthew Broderick. It's not a movie, dude. We're the FBI. It's a good movie. Worth checking out. I don't remember the name of the movie though. Yeah. Oblivion. I don't know. I've not seen. Oh, sorry. Yeah, not Bullworth. Well, Bullworth is worth watching too. It's Bowfinger. Yeah, Bowfinger. Right. Hobo with a Shotgun. There's another one. How about Nude Nuns on the Run? There's a movie. There's a movie maker that's I think in my county, which is a county next door to LA County. He made some movies with great grindhouse titles, but are absolutely trash, like horrible. And I don't mean to say that. It hurts me to say that about a fellow filmmaker, especially a low budget one. But there's no artistry. It's just nasty. It feels icky, like there's the nudity in it is just ew. Like at least light it better. I don't know. But Nude Nuns on the Run was one of his movies, and he followed up with Run Bitch Run, which, gotta admit, those are two great titles. You know what you're gonna get with Run Bitch Run. It's like I Spit on Your Grave, but it's Run Bitch Run. Great titles. Anyhow. Oh yeah, Bergman's Persona and Seventh Seal. I've never seen Seventh Seal. Another movie I'd like to put on that list would be My Dinner with Andre. I've never seen Dinner with Andre. It looks. I saw something that my friend posted like a trailer, and I watched the trailer like I could get the artistic experiment of My Dinner with Andre, but it feels like a movie that it's either in love with its own farts or I don't know. Like what rewatchability would it be? I don't know. You guys are watching me chat nonstop. Is this much different than My Dinner with Andre? Isn't this kind of like the modern equivalent of My Dinner with Andre? Just my phone time with John? Maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah, both fingers. Sorry, guys. I meant. But Bullworth is worth watching too. Did I like Shape of Water? I did. I wasn't in love with it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I'm not crazy about that actress, the girl that's in it. Although I see her a lot. I do kind of like her, but I saw her in that movie that I forget the name, Happy Go Lucky, and I really didn't care for that movie. I felt so let down by that movie, and I think it was kind of annoying. Anyhow, Hobo with a Shotgun was a fake trailer. Sorry, yeah, there is a movie called Nude Nuns on the Run. Let's see, I will watch plain people in a white room if the dialogue is good enough. I agree. If it's an interesting enough dialogue, if it's a good conversation. So one of the things that we're talking about on one of my Facebook postings was the idea that sometimes in a movie it's better to just let the character talk, right? So like, give an example. Maybe Chad can throw me some example. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Like the scene in Jaws where Quint's talking about the poor souls on the Indianapolis, and they're there swimming in the shark-infested waters. I'm doing a horrible impersonation, but and the whole scene is just him telling the story. Now, a modern filmmaker or a studio filmmaker, like, my note is we should be able, when she's telling the story, won't we come to a flashback and see? No. I'd rather to hear Quint tell the story is much more disturbing and scary, and it also illustrates a little bit about Quint too. So you get a double whammy there. You get two birds with one stone. It's creepy, and you learn more about the character. But a lot of times I think people will write that as a flashback. Oh, flashback. We'll spend $3 million on this scene, on this shot. So, Nate Film Tutorials. John Hess. That's me. Don't wear my name out. It's only got 4 more uses to go, and then I got like get more money, put more money on it. Never mind. I'm being stupid. Let's see. Pedro says, then I ask, are there any films that would be good only on the first watch, not that later would be bad? Yeah, that's a good question. I find that a lot of films, actually, for me, the first watch is the best. There are some movies that get better, but most movies, for me, the first watch is usually the best. And second watches are usually, I get bored, because I already know what's going to happen. I'm trying to think of movies that are, for me, the opposite, like Doctor Strangelove is a movie that repeats viewing. 2001. I think any Stanley Kubrick movie almost works that way, because Stanley Kubrick is kind of such a weird, layered filmmaker that he does tend to do that. I don't know. I have to dig through my brain for a lot of movies. I think the second time I watched them was good. Well, for me, Goodfellas is one I really enjoyed the second time I watched it. First time I watched it, I didn't like gangster movies. I was one of those, like, I don't like gangster movies. I was one of those. Yeah. But Schneider, I can't get the scene of Schneider feeding the shark with a smoke in his mouth. Tenet, maybe Tenet would be better to watch on the second time. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about Tenet. I got it. I kind of got what Tenet was about, but I don't know. I wasn't crazy about it. I liked it. I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I enjoyed it. Do people smoke in movies anymore? No, it automatically gets an R rating if you smoke. I think you're allowed like one cigarette or something, nonsense like that. You ever seen those, like, rated R for brief nudity and tobacco use? So Pinocchio is now probably PG-13 because Geppetto smokes a pipe. Oh my God. Yeah, whatever. I See Dead People movie to watch only once. I don't know if that one's Sixth Sense. I've only seen it once. Man, I totally agree. I've thought about this. We see the emotion of a person telling a story. Importantly, the management puts the work. I love it when it's done right. Yeah. Like I was kind of in love with this idea for a long time. My first real script, which I never made. I don't think it was really that good. But it had like buckets of dialogue. And it was my take on Breakfast at Tiffany's. I set it in Las Vegas and I made it about a jazz singer. And which kind of mirrored my real life. Anyhow, not the Vegas part, but yeah, I'd have like long paragraphs of dialogue I wanted to be read, because to me they always illustrated the character, and I like to write dialogue that was kind of windy and kind of meandering. It felt meandering, but it wasn't quite meandering. I don't know how successful I was doing it, but that's I rewatched this movie recently, and I just enjoyed it. One of my favorite movies, Big Kahuna, The Big Kahuna, starring the man we shall not, that doesn't have a career anymore, Kevin Spacey, and the man that's career has gone weird, which is Danny DeVito. And then the man, the Funicelli or something like that, Peter Funicelli, who was in Twilight afterwards. So his career went weird ways too. But that movie takes place in the one room. Well, there's some side shots that aren't in the play, but entirely in one room. It's called Hospitality Suite. And it's all about landing the Big Kahuna, who's there at the conference, and they got to get this deal. But he doesn't show up. And instead, like the Peter Funicelli character goes and tries to talk to him about religion. And Kevin Spacey gets pissed off. So anyways, it's a good movie. I'd check that out. Oh, there you go. The Clown says, I'd watch Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story 1,000 times. It is a very good movie. It's one of what's that guy's Michael. There's a good video essay about how Dewey Cox is like a really good, one of the last really good parody movies, because it literally parodies music biographies so hard that they've kind of stopped making music biographies, because it's like, what more can you say? Because after Walk the Line, and then after Ray Charles's movie Ray, what more can you do? And then Dewey Cox comes out like, yeah, this is exactly how every movie. When Tim Meadows holds up that bag of weed, hey Dewey, you want to do some weed? And like it gets getting progressively harder and harder. Anyhow. Oh, Blues Brothers. Yeah, Blues Brothers is a good one. I think Cats is probably a movie that you could watch over and over again. Did I lose all of you? Did you all just bail on me there with the Cats thing? That's good. I think musicals tend to be very good rewatches, because you can listen to a song a million times, right? And the more you listen to a music, the more you like it, because the more you anticipate it, and the more you know all the hooks and everything. So music tends to work really well as a like a multiple viewing experience. So if it's a musical, that would really work. I have several musicals that I've watched. Like I always like going back to. Pirates of Penzance is one of my favorites. Yeah. Chicago. I just watched Chicago not that long ago, and I was like, "Damn, man! If I could make something like Chicago, I would just say I could die now, and that's it. I've completed something." I love that movie, Chicago. Yeah, Walk the Line and Ray were probably the only ones that were good at the time. Yeah, pretty much. It ended biopics as we know them. That's good. Here you go. I wanted to watch Woman in the Window and was really let down by the ending, but then it goes on for a few more minutes and I loved it. There you go. So, note to self, don't turn off Woman in the Window if you get upset at the ending. Look down. I'm looking at my phone to read your comments. Instead of trying to run them on my computer, which causes it to act funny, I'm going to look down on the thing. Animal House. I've seen Animal House only once. I'm not a big fan of Animal House. And I'm not a big fan of the other movie that's really popular, Animal House. It's Groundhog Day. No, you're right. Never mind. I love Groundhog Day. The one with the groundhog with Bill Murray. I forget the name of that movie. The golf one. You know what I'm talking about. Mr. Mizzles, take off. Take care. You got to head out. See you later, bud. Hopefully I'll be on. Hopefully I can do these more often. This is really making me feel more energetic and like not so miserable about my life. So I like hanging out with you guys. This is really awesome. Thank you, guys. Sorry, you're on an older Schlitz on an older browser you can't correct. Well, that's no worries. Les Mis. I'm not a big fan of Les Mis. Sorry. I will go on the record of saying that I think that Miss Saigon, the follow-up to Les Mis, was a better musical in every respect. I think Miss Saigon was better in every respect. Hot take. The reason why it doesn't do as well as Les Mis is because you can't cast white people in the parts of the Vietnamese roles. So that, because it's culturally insensitive, right? You can't have a high school production of Miss Saigon. Not that you would, because Miss Saigon has a little more heady stuff than Les Mis. It's a little bit more about, fucked up shit. But and the thing is, you can't, like, when Miss Saigon came out, like in 1984 or something like that, they casted Jonathan Pryce as the engineer. And if you don't know Miss Saigon is the retelling of Madame Butterfly. And Madame Butterfly, I believe, was about a soldier who goes to Japan, has an affair with a Japanese woman, has a child, and then goes back, and then there's a drama because it's opera. They're singing at each other. It's opera. It's glorious, right? But Miss Saigon is about, they take it and make it about Vietnam. Well, when they first made it, they put Jonathan Pryce as the engineer, and the engineer is kind of a nice way of saying pimp, because he's the pimp that sells out all these prostitutes in Vietnam. And Jonathan Pryce is an English actor, and they made him like yellow face. They did the whole thing, right, with his face, and that caused a lot of controversy in 1984 because people back then also were not. They're not adults. They were sensitive to racial issues back then too, and so I think that's always carried around with that. So you can never, you couldn't do a high school production and just cast a white girl as the Vietnamese girl. It doesn't make sense. So it has a more limited production, a little more limited way of making this show. But I think musically, the power of the vocals and the performances of some of the stuff I've seen just blows Les Mis out the water. I don't know, like Les Mis is Les Mis is white bread. Not to make a pun, but Miss Saigon is, to me, like, and then I think it's a fantastic musical. Now, if you go reading the web and you see all the people that are Vietnamese people, just like half of them hate it. So, it's got its own cultural problems too. I get it, but I think it's a fantastic musical. Warts and all, I suppose, but it's written by two French dudes, so whatever. Bill and Ted Face the Music. I think I saw that. But that's how good that movie is. I think I saw it. I don't remember if I did. I'm pretty sure I saw it. But I don't know if I'm sure if I saw it. Maybe I'm experiencing a Schrodinger experience with Bill and Ted movies. I think I saw it. Maybe I didn't. So as in the Schrodinger world, then I would have seen it and not seen it at the same time. Until I go back in time and see myself seeing the movie, then I will know whether I saw it or not. But until then, I exist in both states at the same time. That's the wonderful thing about the Bill and Ted movie. Oh, Eric, thank you for the nice talk. While I'm back while I'm working. This is my way of not working. No, I've got to pack the van for a shoot tomorrow for the thing, ribbon cutting for a school. So I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys and getting a little bit of free therapy from you guys, so I don't feel like crap. Oh, how to choose background music for a movie? Oh boy, that's a good question. Basically, sorry, I'm getting little hiccups. In the best of all worlds, you will sit down to the movie. You go through the movie, and you will sit down with a composer, and you'll say, "I think this part needs music. I want some music here." And then you say, "I want some music here. This part, I don't want any music. This part, I want some music." And then you go, and you say, "What kind of music do you like?" "Well, I want something cheerful here. I want something dark and ominous here. Then we talk about leitmotifs. So we give this character, John Williams is famous for his leitmotifs. Bum ba dum bum bum ba dum. That's leitmotif. I want my character to have a leitmotif. Ba da 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 dum ba da dum ba da 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 dum. So you do all that. Now that's a perfect world. You actually have a composer. If you don't have a composer, you're sitting there like, I want this part to have music. What kind of music? Then you go to your multitude. I've got 3 music library software websites that I have subscribed to, and even then rarely am I happy. It's always like, it's good enough. It's good enough. That's not. Where I'll pick some music and then I'm like, I'll give it to the client, and the client's like, I don't really like the music. I don't like it. I'm like, I don't know. I spent 30 minutes listening, trying to find something that you might like. Here you go. Here's the website. Knock yourself out. Tell me what track it is, and I'll jump in on it. And I've gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. It's like, I don't care. You're paying me by the hour, so I don't give a I don't care. If you don't like my music choice, no harm on my fault. No sweat off my back. I'll just fix it. So anyhow. You didn't like the Interstellar soundtrack. That sucks. I liked the Interstellar soundtrack. I don't know. I liked it was very, what's it called? Philip Glass. And I'm a big kind of fan of that synth sound. Overwhelming. To me, the experience was being in a theater and hearing the rocket take off. And it's like, it's like just overwhelming sound. And it's like literally the entire theater shook. Like the neighbor theaters were probably watching like, the quietest movie in the world, like A Quiet Place, and you hear next door. Could you imagine that? A Quiet Place playing next to a Nolan movie? It'd just be insane. Like, I can't hear anything. The Nolan movie's going on. Anyhow, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't a big fan of A Quiet Place because like, everyone's like, "Oh my god, the sound design is amazing," and I'm like, dude, every movie does that. It's just in A Quiet Place. It's just more gimmicky. It's just more like in your face. But every movie has sound design. Like go watch a Transformers movies. Like those Transformers movies have the most amazing sound design. And I'm sorry if that makes you offended if I say that the Transformers movies, which I agree are garbage. Some of them are garbage. They're or just horrible and they're unwatchable. But the sound design is amazing. Maybe it does sound like a radio, like a FM radio indent. Like you listen to 93.4, the mix. I don't know. Maybe they got off a job from making radio intros to working on Transformers movies. Anyhow. How do I feel about mumblecore? Like Joe Swanberg, who created tons of films in a short amount of time to support himself. Does the issue of QC take co-precedence over money in your eyes? I don't like mumblecore, but there are some mumblecore movies I love. I love Frances Ha. That's a great movie. I think what's her name that was Frances Ha, but then she made Miss America was enjoyable. What's her name? I think she's cute as a button. She married the director of Frances Ha. That'd be a good relationship to have. But anyhow, some of those movies. I do like a lot of the Duplass brothers movies. I find them quirky, entertaining. There's that one movie with I forget who it was in it, but basically it was like a doppelganger movie where the couple went to a retreat and then it turned out there was like another couple that looked exactly like them, and it's just like messing with your brain the whole time. I enjoyed that movie. So I like a lot of mumblecore. I don't like lazy movies. You know how like people say, "Oh, Hollywood is so lazy." Hollywood is so lazy, and all they do is sit in front of a green screen. They're so lazy. Well, I'm not going to excuse mumblecore. If mumblecore is lazy that they can't do a second take of something that went wrong, then that's bad. Like one of the jokes I had because my friend and I, Joe, hasn't been on in a while here, but we would do these live streams for these school districts, and the school districts would have each school turn in a video report. Like, do people do people who make these videos not realize that you can do a second take? Because they'll be sending this video report, and it's literally like Mike falls on the ground or something stupid happens, like they blow a mistake or something really bad reading. Like you could do another take. So anyhow, I don't know. Maybe I'm misclassifying what mumblecore is, but I think if a good movie can have low quality as far as like workmanship, as long as it's entertaining and interesting. But if it distracts away from it, it's obviously not gonna get my pass. I don't know where I'm going with that. Thinking on my feet. I gotta get off soon. It's been 90 minutes here. What are your thoughts about general music montage moments like 80s movies? I know original Ghostbusters last night when they're doing the rogging scene and Ray gets a boner. Yeah, or Rocky. Call it a montage. All we need is a montage. They're kind of old school, aren't they? Although they're used, like the last one I remember watching was Jojo Rabbit has a musical. I mean, it was a point in the movie where Jojo kind of makes peace with this girl that's in the house, and then they do a little montage, and they call this cool montage where they just basically spin around the room and really slowly just pan across the room, and they're in different positions in the movie to kind of show the passage of time. And so it's kind of like a montage. But you kind of need it for some passage of time because Rocky went from nobody to pumped up. We can't just make the cut. You got to show something going on. Dun 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 dun. Anyhow, Any book for film directors? There's one book called Directing Actors I thought was pretty interesting. But really, it's a people thing. It's like, can you learn about making friends from a book? I suppose you could. But you learn about making friends by going out there and making friends, or talking to friends, or doing things with people. That's what sucks about the pandemic, is we need to be fucking around people. No, sorry, I'm messing the word up there. We don't want to fuck around people. You want to be around people. Fuck it. You need to be around people. And so as far as I'm concerned, the pandemic killed what little independent filmmaking was going on, or fun filmmaking, just for fun. So hopefully we'll get that back soon. But yeah, you need to be around people, I think. LOL. Let's see. Oh, if you're talking about Epidemic. If you're talking about Epidemic, I feel your pain. It's all the songs are the same. Epidemic, I'm on theirs. I have theirs. I like them for some things. I dig through a lot of the old... I use them for some of the older genre stuff. They have a surf rock or something like that. The occasional time I need a surf rock song. It happens, So Epidemic, I use that, but I have Artlist. Artlist is very much of a more modernist kind of, everything sounds like indie pop on there. There's a lot of banjos and a lot of like xylophone music for kids stuff. And it used to be a long time ago, or not a long time, a few years ago. Every song was like that. Like a lot of clapping, like a group of people clapping and stomping their feet. Yeah, that was a style for a long time. Chase Williams, I'm a screenwriter looking for a graphic novel at the moment. It has gotten me thinking about the advantages cinema has compared to storytelling mediums like comic books and theater. Yes, I think about this a lot because I was working on a comic book, then I got really busy and I haven't touched a damn thing in months. And I am involved with theater. So, was involved with theater. I keep thinking I want to go back and maybe do some community theater, but then I don't want to. Community theater is a big time suck. Like 4 days a week time suck. And then a lot of community theater, I think, is a social club. It's really not really about the art form. It's about hanging out with your friends, which... I don't have any friends in theater right now, but, it might be fun, but still, 4 days a week. And then the thing about theater, too, is it's very ephemeral. So you do your show for 3 weekends and poof, it's gone. And that's it. You might get some guy that offered to do a video of it, and it's usually shit, because I do this for a living and it's shit. It's sorry. I've never once gotten a DVD from a show that I thought wasn't shit. I'm sorry. Maybe once in a while I've seen something that's decent, but yeah. So that's the thing about theater. Theater is imagination. Theater. There's so many things you can't do in theater that you can do in movies. Like the close up, you can't do. Like if I were to in a movie, I could make a big deal about me doing this. Like I could cut it in a way where I cut to myself looking at it. Cut to a close-up of it being put on the ground. They put a sound of kaboom, right? I can make a big deal about doing that. But in theater, if I just did that, no one, most people in the audience would never even see it because it's too small a detail. So that's one of the things of theater that you can do. The control. They talk about theater is the medium of the author, the writer. Shakespeare. The big names of theater are the writers, the playwrights. The big names of movies, however, are the directors, because the movie is a director's medium. The director controls the camera, tells you where to look. The director is also involved with probably the screenwriting, but it's really the director's medium. And then we're trying to think what other mediums are there. I don't know. Television is the medium of the editor, maybe. Reality television is definitely the realm of the editor, because the editor is the one that controls the story. Documentary is the realm of the editor. The editor creates the story. Anyhow. Yeah, graphic novels and comics are probably the closest thing to have silent cinema nowadays, given that they're purely visual and text and images combined with the actual sound component removed. I agree. Yeah, I agree to an extent. My trouble with my graphic novel too is also balancing how much text versus how much visual. Now, again, I'm not really a comic book guy, so I don't really have a lot to go on as far as what that balance is. I was trying to read a little bit of Scott Pilgrim, and I found that to be a lot of reading. It's like I was expecting more like art, but there's a lot of like text, a lot of experimental text sometimes, but there's a lot of text. So I was trying to find the balance, and I never did quite feel that balance yet. I was still feeling it. I don't know. Yeah, Seven Seal is a good movie. I should check it out. I should probably watch it one of these days. All right, Schlitz, we'll see you later. Hopefully you hear me saying that. I should probably get going. I'm really, really hot. I need to get some water. I've been talking for a very long time, for probably about 90 some minutes. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Again, like I said, I've been going through a lot. I mean, I've just been feeling like super down, like seriously down. So hanging out here and just talking about movies is a little bit of a way to get back into the feel of artistic creativity, or just some sort of feeling of, you know, it's not politics. I'm sick of talking about politics or hearing about politics. I want to talk about movies and like run, bitch, run, stupid shit. But no, it's good to talk to you guys. So I do have 2 scripts that I've written for Filmmaker IQ videos that I've been wanting to shoot. I just have to find the energy and time, and hopefully if I do more of these live streams, I can get back in the swing of things. One is about, I did the research on why the difference we have 44.1 kilohertz versus 48 kilohertz. I figured out why, and it's a trip. It's a trip. It has to do with television, believe it or not. So we'll do that. And then I got that Fox video, 20th Century Fox, written. So I got to just polish it up and be ready to shoot that. And I'll got two videos in the can. I got a whole wall of stuff I want to do. But yeah, anyhow. Well, thanks for hanging out for me a little bit. This quick question. Green Bat says, how much input does a cinematographer actually have in your experience? Some said that they're a tandem director. They can be. Remember, okay, so just to answer this question, cinematographer's real name is director of photography. So the term director is in their title. Now, it depends on the director. Some director might say, I want total control of the cinematography, and that you will do as I say. Some will say, what do you think, Roger Deakins? I trust you to do my film. Shoot my film for me. Don't let me mess you up like Coen Brothers will, trust Roger Deakins with their lives. So it all depends, man. Everything depends. Just remember, people that with the name director in the title have a big, strong control. But as everything in life, it all depends, right? Like I can never sit here. What's so hard today is to sit here and to tell you with absolute certainty, this is the way it is. Except for 24 frames a second, that's the way it is. But sometimes, it just all depends. It all depends on what things happen in this world and how things go. So the best you can do is just kind of play it by ear and figure it out as you go. And as much as I like to plan everything on a movie shoot, sometimes maybe the best things happen that are out of your control, and you just do them. Anyhow, that's it. That's all I will say. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to do this again next week. We'll try to get together again next week, and then hopefully between now and then, maybe I'll shoot this audio one at least first. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a pleasure. Really, the pleasure's all mine. We will talk to you guys later. Take care. I'll click on the blackout first. Over here. Blackout, and we'll see you guys later.